live?
We are live.
Hello.
Okay, hello
Hi.
everyone. It's Ryan
And Jessica.
David.
And Hannah.
coming to you from
El
El
Salvador.
Salvador.
Can you
Can you let us know in the chat if you can hear us okay? We're a bit microphone challenged over here. I can see the levels right here are pretty low. So let us know in the chat if you can hear us all right, and we will get started. Let's crank that up.
Crank it
There we
up.
go. That should be better.
Hello?
Hello, anybody? There's 10 people there, so there's got to be someone in the chat who can tell us if you can hear us. I'm not even seeing the chat working. Okay. So if you're in the chat, we can't see the chat. So apologies for that. Why is that? By chat.
There we go.
There it is. There's the chat. Yeah, loud and clear. Okay, great. All right. So you guys may have seen our friends here, Hannah and Dave. We had a video out last week with them. They told us the story of coming to El Salvador. But I'll tell you this, we had over an hour of footage and we only gave you 13 minutes. So if you have more questions, now's the time.
Yep.
While we wait for the questions to come in, we can just tell some stories, I'd say.
Yeah.
We can just talk about our life here. You know what? Rainy season is late. It's late. El Nino is pushing the rains further in time. We're starting to get a bit of rain now, but it's not like it was. I remember last year when we were in El Tunco, we didn't have a car at that time. We didn't have a scooter. We only had our feet, and we were in our Airbnb. It was like our second or third day here.
Yeah.
And we were at the Bauhaus in El Tunco. And the rains just started, and we had never seen rain like that in our lives.
No,
I thought England was bad.
Yeah. And the streets were like, there was this much water in the streets. The streets were rivers, and we were trapped.
And since we were new, and I wasn't used to like all of this now, like now I wouldn't care to like walk home in the rain. But I kind of threw a little bit of a temper tantrum, and I was like, "There's no way I'm walking 20 minutes in this rain. Are you insane?" And now I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's something that we have to do."
Yeah, it's just part of life now.
Don't wear flip-flops in the rain.
I think we had flip-flops on.
We had
actually.
flip-flops on.
At least it's warm rain and not freezing cold.
Yes.
It's actually a nice bit of
like a big
fresh
shower,
air.
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've been caught in it plenty of times, but it's so refreshing.
Also, yes, you left El Salvador when you were 16 years old, and you want to go back. You're from Usulután. We were in Usulután just about 2 months ago. Lovely place. We were out in Playa Las Flores, which is not too far from there. You know what? You said you want to go back. Have you visited at least? Like, have you paid a trip back to El Salvador? Or let us know. It's a great place to live. Where we are just thrilled to be here.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Rose wants to know how you feel about the Salvadoran food, or do you miss the British cuisine? Do you miss the fish and chips?
Well, the thing is, you can still make it here. So it's not so much of a problem.
It goes to the
But
supermarket.
we love the cuisine here.
Yes.
We know the producers. We absolutely love, and we do make them ourselves as well. We've got some local friends that will help us. So there's special cheese that you have to put in, not just any cheese. It's got to be the proper.
Yeah, the special,
cheese.
specific kind of cheese that goes in it. Very salty cheese.
The frijoles with them, the beans, have meat in them. Tamales, love tamales, and all sorts of
empanadas.
They're really good.
Yeah, and you were saying you've learned how to make them yourself. Like, how long have you been here now?
6 months.
6 months. Okay,
almost 6 months.
So 6 months here and already making the pupusas at home. Hey, so it's one of the things that we have enjoyed about El Salvador is that the connections with the local population have been very easy to make. Have you found the same thing, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Like obviously they taught you how to make pupusas. Awesome.
It's really settled into
Salvadoran friends.
Salvadoran.
We need to get our Spanish a lot better. And that's something we're working on. But for most part, the people that we have met that we can communicate with, we've gotten on brilliantly, and they've been really welcoming and
so welcoming.
It's really nice to be here.
If you're ever stuck, you need a lift somewhere, or there's always people around that will help you, and very incredibly helpful. So.
Yeah. There's a whole community down here. We all have like a signal group, and whenever somebody needs something, like just today, I had to go get someone's car from the airport because they had to rush off. There was a family emergency, so that was put in the group, and like 4 people were like, "I'll go get your car." So you never have to worry about being taken care of here.
Yeah.
We all stick together, but not in that like enclave kind of way. We're also very integrated with the local community. It's better than we could have ever hoped. Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Jose, thank you for almost spelling my name right and not using calling me Brian.
Okay, can we? I feel like maybe we should get this out on the table for people.
Yeah.
So you've been saying his name wrong the whole time.
What is your name?
Yeah, the name is Ryan. There's no B in there. I find it's interesting, and I'll answer your question in a second there, Jose. It's interesting that the Salvadorans, and maybe this is a Spanish-speaking thing in general, but they have trouble putting the B before the R. The B has to be there. So whenever I introduce myself as Brian, I get Brian every single time. And when I try to correct it and say, no, it's Ryan, the mouth just won't form correctly. It's hilarious, actually. Yeah. But it also doesn't matter. The question was, do we miss anything from Canada? It's cliche.
Maple syrup and
we
poutine.
Used to have ample access to maple syrup,
and
for poutine, I never was a fan. But a friend, a subscriber, actually brought down a can of premium A#1. You guys tried it the other day, right?
We had a party the other night, and
this is not for export, so really we could get in trouble for having it here, maybe. But we do miss being able to get that anytime. So let's talk UK. And if you're in the chat and you are from the UK, please let us know. I know it's late over there. If you are watching from the UK, thank you for staying up all the way past 11 to join us.
Wow.
Yes. If you have questions specifically for our British guests here, please drop them in the chat. We've never been to Britain before.
I've always wanted to go.
Like there's in Canada, there's this cultural fascination with Britain, partly because we're a colony of yours, at least on paper, where we belong to England and Canada, but that has British culture permeates through Canada. Like everyone in Canada knows what Fawlty Tower is, Fawlty Towers, and Monty Python, and it's a big thing. The British.
Coronation Street.
Coronation Street is huge in Canada.
That's so funny.
So like Jess has always wanted to visit Britain. And sadly, it looks like that opportunity may have passed. Not sure that Britain's a destination for us right now. If the Brits are coming here.
Right.
So
that means I don't have to go anywhere.
But what do you guys think? Let's compare. Maybe not politically, unless you want to. The lifestyle in Britain compared to El Salvador.
I mean, I've been to Toronto. That's about as far in Canada as I've ever been. But there's not really a lot of difference. I do think that things are very similar. Some things are very, very similar. We've got a VR headset that can take you, it's a Wonder, isn't it? It can take you anywhere in the world. And I was walking through, I can't remember. Virtually walking through parts of Canada. And I thought, wow, some of these areas are actually very, very much like England.
Yeah, the architecture is very similar, isn't it? I think, from what I've seen.
But then you haven't got.
But the lifestyle specifically, how would we compare our lifestyles in the UK? I mean, I've never lived in Canada, so I wouldn't really know how to compare that. But I know that it tends to just be busy.
You don't stop
worrying about the bills, constantly paying off your mortgage, your rent. There's not really a lot of time left to do anything else, even if you have got the money, because you're kind of
working hard just to pay the bills.
It's kind of,
obviously it depends on your job, it depends on your wages,
and it seems to be getting harder and harder over there as well, doesn't it? If you're not,
that's no way to live. It's just working just to survive. You need to be able to have the money to explore.
So
and
it's incredibly difficult.
We had the same experience in Canada. We met 9 years ago in Canada, and when we got serious, we started working toward goals, like mutual goals. and we worked harder and harder, and we got education, and we were trying to level up our income and get to those goals. And we were seeing as the years ticked by that the harder we worked, the more income we brought in, the further and further away those goals were getting. And that is a crushing sensation, right? As it feels so purposeless what you're doing. And in the year before we left, it was the pandemic, it was the lockdowns, and all we were doing was working online. You had an essential frontline job, so you were going to work, and we would just work and watch Netflix and work and watch Netflix, and that's over now since we left.
That's your years, your life just disappearing.
And then if you've got children, you're trying to pay for lessons for I don't know, gymnastics or swimming lessons or whatever it is. It just eats up all your disposable income.
100%. But now, like here, and you were saying in the video, and by the way, if you haven't seen the video, it's the second to last one in the library. Why are the British moving to El Salvador? We follow these folks around and we show their story. Check it out after the stream. But you had said that, what did you say in the video?
Just about, being able to have a lot more time really to do stuff. I mean,
to the point where you were like getting really busy. That's right.
So at first, when we first arrived, we didn't know a lot of people. It was all new. But then we found out that there was a huge, fantastic community of expats here. But just not just the expats. It was the local people here as well with children. So the first thing I did is set up a playdates group. For parents with children, obviously.
There's a lot of kids here.
To meet up with each other, children the same age. And then because I used to work in nurseries, I'm a qualified early years practitioner. I thought it'd be a great idea to start some sort of arts and crafts group. So I started that up, and there was a lot of interest for that. A lot of these mums that didn't, when you first have a child, it's very hard to have a kind of social life again. It's a different kind of social life. And it can get very lonely, and you feel very isolated. So this is a great way for the parents to actually meet each other and share each other's experiences of bringing up a baby or child. And also homeschooling as well. It's grown.
And you can just start that here. Right. Like, I don't know what it is in the UK, but back home.
There's nothing saying that you cannot do it.
That's right. And the UK is incredibly saturated as well. Whereas here, because it's quite new, there's a lot of opportunities for people that are keen and ready to build things up on the ground here, isn't there? And a lot of people trying to find their feet.
And you have a lot more free time because the schools generally finish early. They start earlier, but they finish earlier. So you've got the whole afternoon to kind of do what you want to do. You've got much more time to be playing on the beach, meeting up with friends and having barbecues in the evening. Nearly every day is a sunny day. You don't have to rely on the weather like back home in England. It's like
the weather doesn't. The sun's
it's going to be sunny this weekend. We need to get
We're
the
on to the
barbecue
beach.
out.
60 odd million Brits piling down the motorway at the same time.
We lived in Newfoundland for a while, which is far east coast.
It's the closest to.
It's closest to England. And the climate there is very similar to England, and it's just like, but further north, right? So it's just like that, where I remember in July, like late July to mid-August was summer. That was the slice of summer that you got, and everyone scrambled. No one went to work. Everyone went to the beach. Everyone had barbecues while it was.
I'm really sick today.
Exactly.
Kids, get in the car. Get into the beach.
I'm not sure. I'm hearing that the summer's only just started in England right now. I don't know. I haven't been there.
No, they're having a heat wave right now.
Yeah, but that's kind of like after. I mean, we're almost out of summer now, aren't we?
Yeah, September normally, it cools down.
Better late than never, I suppose.
We're having a 30-degree heat wave right at the moment.
So it's not
in the UK, here it's always always hot.
Some questions have come in. I think we're getting kind of behind the questions. So Rose asks, do you have British friends or family that may visit you in El Salvador?
We would love for our family to come over, wouldn't we?
Tell the camera they're watching.
Sorry. get in. I have to look at the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
We would love our families to come over. That would be fantastic. But very difficult. I think with the distance and
it's not difficult.
But it's the time, isn't it? And they're working all the time, and they're trying to.
Maybe Christmas time.
Yeah, it would be great to see them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know other friends that've got other British friends that are here. They'll have their families come over Christmas and Easter. Holidays and things. You can. It's just 2 flights. It's just I think you can either get a direct flight to Cancun. And then on to El Salvador.
That's a short flight.
Like the shortest way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a direct flight from here to UK.
No, I think that I did hear something about doing direct flights from the UK, which would be absolutely fantastic. But yes, and September time is cheaper. So this time right now
would be the time to do
get
it.
your ticket.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time to come.
Yeah. Next question is, how are we managing with the language? Jose, we had mentioned earlier, probably before you joined, that they've been here for 6 months and we've been here for 13 months. Yeah, but how are you guys managing with the language?
Well, you're doing very well.
Yeah.
Necesito más práctica para mí.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But we are learning, aren't we? We had a Spanish teacher for a while when we got here, but we moved from the city down to here. And we wasn't able to continue with the Spanish lessons, but we are going to be seeing him again quite soon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's something we could get back into, hopefully.
And once you get into the swing of it, it just clicks and it just makes sense. Yes. And it's just, just practicing every single day. And apps, there's so many good apps out there. There's Babbel, there's Duolingo, which is great. You can even do it for free, or you can pay to get, more lessons and practice more. But just spending 15 minutes a day doing that, it really does help.
But you also find the more you do connect with the local community, the better it is for your Spanish, because you're then
for sure.
If you stay away from that and you're in your little expat bubble and you're not really going anywhere, and what you learn you soon lose as well. So
but then your shopping trips to La Libertad, which is a very local area, you have to speak Spanish. You have no excuse.
Yeah, for sure. We are going to be beginning Spanish lessons very soon. You're welcome to join us. The folks out in Berlin, there's a Berlin in El Salvador. It's a bit out east out there. There is a fantastic Bitcoin community, Bitcoin phenomenon happening in Berlin. And they have rallied the community together. They've recruited Spanish teachers, among other things, and they're going to be giving online courses in Spanish, all payable with Bitcoin. So this would not be possible prior to Bitcoin being legal tender here. They could accept the Bitcoin, but they'd have nothing to do with it once they had it. Mm-hmm. Now, people in 2 different communities in 2 different parts of the countries can exchange services over the internet and instantly pay each other. So we're excited to start those lessons, possibly next week. We haven't talked about it yet, but I've been talking to Berlin. And in any case, so that's us on the Spanish front. Estrella Paz asks, I presume this is for you guys, are you planning to stay in El Salvador for many more years or just a short stop?
Yes,
absolutely.
Without a doubt, there was no hesitation.
We have no, I'm certainly not going back to the UK. I know that much. As things are at the moment.
As I said in the video, both of us, actually, I can speak for both of us. I think we just feel so much more happier here.
Yes.
The sunshine completely changes your mood. Back in the UK, where it's sometimes drizzly.
Also, I'm not just saying that just because we're out the UK. I mean, we're both well travelled. We've both seen a lot of the world. Yeah. So we've got a lot of places to compare it to, haven't we? We really do. Yeah. Really do enjoy it.
That's quite a few people I've spoken to that have done the same thing, that have travelled. They always come back here. There's just something special about it.
It is a special place.
It is a very beautiful country. We absolutely love it.
Mainly the people, to be honest.
Carlitos says that we should invite Bukele to an interview.
That would be cool.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There are some talks that aren't that, but aren't far from that. So stay tuned. That may or may not happen.
Moving on.
Yes, carrying on with that. Interesting question. LM asks, how is Leo enjoying El Salvador? Leo, your son.
Oh, he's loving it.
He's loving it.
Absolutely loving it. He's just upstairs playing with Lego at the moment, but Yeah.
He had a moment for the first couple of weeks when he first came here because of the language barrier. He's, oh, mummy, daddy, I don't understand. They sound weird out here. We don't understand. But yeah, that lasted about 2 weeks. And now, if you ask him now, Leo, do you want to go back to the UK? No.
Yeah.
It's,
No, because here I can play in the pool every day if I want.
Yeah, he's really, really happy actually. And it's nice to see him so happy.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe part of that is like, since you guys have come here, you've been able to relax a bit and breathe out, and he senses that?
Yeah, definitely. Because you know, we were quite anxious really before we left the UK.
Yeah, very stressful.
We were very stressed with everything, with work, with just our lifestyle in general. And we wanted a better future, and we always wanted to live abroad. So it's not something that we've just kind of made a very rash decision and just moved.
It was a dream of ours since we first got together, and it was kind of a dream that life got in the way, and we wasn't able to kind of do what we wanted to do, and then we ended up here.
Recommendation from a friend that we previously met in Mexico. So we were there for a little while and met these wonderful people with
that friend is here.
Girls. Yeah,
that friend is he lives
they
over
live
there.
Yeah. So and really that made our decision to move over here. Before we weren't so sure because of things going on here that wasn't so good, you know.
We didn't really know enough about the country to make a judgment, did we? You only know what you see in the news, and it's not until you come here and you see the place for yourself and
you really have to see it for yourself.
I can sit here and say whatever, but until you come here and you see it, there's nothing I can say that's going to really do it justice. It's an incredible place.
Never once felt unsafe here.
So Oso asks, this is the entire panel asking everybody, how difficult was it to make the decision to move to a new country? How difficult was it?
How difficult was it?
Interesting. How easy was it, but how difficult was it?
I mean, there's a lot in that question, isn't there? How scary was it?
It was really, I think because we've spent some time in Mexico just before we came here, that kind of, all our visions and feelings of living in a country that we've never been before. I think the culture shock kind of faded before we came.
Yeah, sure.
I think if we were to come, straight away, it would have been a little bit unusual, a bit, unsettling.
But it is terrifying having that thought of we're leaving, and we're coming over and we don't know what to expect. So I think we kind of got over that by saying, okay, we're going to try it for 6 months, and if we don't like it, we're going to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it doesn't feel so permanent.
Try it for a couple of months. If it doesn't work, we can always go back. We can always go somewhere else. So it wasn't like we're never going back, that's full stop, because that then.
But we did go back shortly, didn't we?
We did.
We did, and
briefly,
briefly. We had to go back and sort some things out, and we were on the plane, and we had those feelings of, what the hell are we doing going back? Why are we going back? So what are we doing? It's kind of. So I think once you've gotten over that, it feels a lot worse than it really is, isn't it? It's not that difficult.
Rick, we will in just a moment talk about living expenses, so bear with us. But for our side of the difficulty,
it was very difficult.
For you?
For me, it was very difficult because I've never been past Toronto.
Yeah,
that's the farthest I've been. I've never been outside the country before, and stay at home. Once I stick somewhere, I like to stay. Like that's like we've been talking. Yeah, like we've been talking about, like, going to visit like Guatemala and like other countries around Latin America. And my initial thought is, well, why? We're here now.
Because they have active volcanoes.
Let's just stay here.
But it's not far. Going to Guatemala is like going to Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
From Newfoundland.
So.
But for me, I guess for us and for me, it was sort of like there was a push-pull.
Yeah.
Canada was pushing us out. For those who don't know, we had the bank account experience during the protests last year in Canada. And that was shocking to realize that suddenly you don't have access to your economic life, and that one guy in an office in Ottawa made that decision for you because he didn't like your opinions. We knew in that moment that we were no longer living in a free country.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened since, thank goodness, but the mere fact that it could occur, the precedent is set, and we knew it was time to go. The question was where at that time. And just like everyone else, we initially thought Mexico, and we actually had pretty well developed plans to move to Mexico, and we had contacts there, friends there, and everything else. Daryl, if you're watching, shout out. But in the end, we ended up finding on YouTube Nikki and James and Francesco and Juliana, Money Delix, and we started getting a window into El Salvador, and we thought, wow, this place looks great. They have Bitcoin, which can't be frozen or confiscated or censored. And we could not just move our location, but change the way we live our life completely so that this can never happen to us again. So that was the push. And once we got here, El Salvador just became such an intoxicating place to stay. Yeah. We just wanted to just embed, and we've got roots down now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to go anywhere for a while.
No, not to live anyway. If the opportunity to travel presents itself and isn't shut down by the WHO, then we might do some traveling, but we're happy where we are. So yes, Rick was asking about living expenses. Actually, I just want to quickly touch on this. Frankie Seguenza asked, how true is it that the government will be teaching Bitcoin in schools? Heard something about it, but not sure if it's true yet. It is true. This has been a project that's been worked on by the folks at Mi Primer Bitcoin. Mi Primer, I can't say it right. It's like saying Brian. They've been working on this for a year. Last adopting Bitcoin was when this seed started to germinate. So this was last November. And for the rest of the year going up to the present day, it has finally come to fruition. The educators themselves are being taught now, and they will be delivering that education into the public school system in El Salvador. So, and this is not just Bitcoin, it's financial education about central banks, about fiat currencies, and how it all actually works. The kind of education none of us got, right? That's coming to El Salvador's public school system, which is great. Anyway, cost of living. We found it very approachable. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different situation for us because we're not actually working. However, we do have a property back home that we rent out, so that kind of covers our rent here plus more.
Sure.
So for the price,
we've got a little bit of security there in the fact that we are putting in a rental income. It's only a small flat. It's not a massive amount. It's like £650, I think.
But that's enough for.
But that's certainly enough to get yourself an apartment out here. But it also depends on where in the country you want to be. I mean, if you want to be here, right by the beach, this is expensive. But there are other places that are probably half the pay here. In other places.
Anything from say $500 a month up to $1,500.
We've had Airbnbs for $500 a month, and that's everything included. Your hot water, everything.
Air conditioning too?
It didn't, because it's in the city, so it's not so hot.
It's
not so bad.
It's a lot warmer down here.
But here you definitely need AC. Definitely.
Especially this time of year. Very hot.
What about food? Do you find food is?
I mean, food generally everywhere is going up. Expensive.
I thought the food was more expensive than the UK. However, when I'm chatting to my mum recently, she has told me the price of certain food items, and actually, wow, I'm shocked because we've been away on and off since 2022. So
and it kind of feels a bit more expensive than it really is because everything is priced in US dollars and we're used to pounds. So you know, when you pick up a bag of coffee and it's $7, and you think, wow, that's really expensive, and you realise
do the conversion rate,
and it's about £5, which is about what we would pay in Tesco's or Aldi or whatever.
That's
anyway,
it's food, but then it depends where you want to shop. You know, if you shop in the markets, the market stalls, the local markets, they're much cheaper. Compared to the UK, and it's locally produced as well. Bananas grow here.
There's a lot
coffee that grows here.
There's a lot
chocolate that grows.
Organic. Probably isn't expensive.
No.
So really depends where you want to shop.
Yeah, we try to shop exclusively at the local vendors to the extent that we can, and that helps keep our food bill down a lot. And if you're willing to be discerning, you can find the Bitcoin vendors who will take the Bitcoin, and that helps a lot as well. No more ATM fees and all that stuff. So it's compared to Canada,
Yeah,
for us,
where an
like-
avocado is $3.50
Yeah.
per.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canadian dollars. Yeah,
Canadian
You can
dollars.
just
Yeah.
pick them off the tree.
Yeah.
there for
That's
free,
right, yeah.
you know?
It's actually £3 a kilo.
Yeah, where we were in the city, that we had this huge avocado tree outside.
Yeah.
We made a DIY avocado catcher
Yeah,
out
yeah.
the window. Catching
Yeah,
I've actually
avocado.
got 4 coconuts just over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4
So,
coconuts. We got
Just
3 or 4 coconuts today too.
Yeah, grab a
Off the
coconut.
tree,
Hannah,
yeah.
shows the,
It looks like we're gonna get taken up into heaven here. Look at
the
this.
sun's coming in.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
Look,
they-
look at the
There
size
you
of
go.
that.
See?
Yeah.
It's one we prepared earlier.
Straight, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
yeah, it's as big as your head.
You wouldn't want to
Yeah.
call it. Yeah.
Beautiful coconut water.
Very weighty.
$20 in Canada. One
Yeah.
of those would be
Do you even
$20.
get those
Yeah.
in Canada?
They husk them,
Yeah, because
Before
they're
they
like
ship them,
the.
but what's that? Oh, a leaf.
Nope. Our
Okay.
neighbours are having fun
Yeah.
next door.
I don't know if you can hear the neighbors. Yeah.
Grace, knock it down.
Okay.
Grace, quiet down.
LM asked if you guys are Bitcoiners.
Of course.
So,
Of
yeah.
course,
Yes.
absolutely.
So
That
what
is
is?
one
Yeah,
of the
course.
main reasons
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
here.
Definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think if you have to be here. Then
Yeah, yeah.
What
well,
is
you
that,
Don't, well,
uh,
you don't have to be, but you can start off knowing nothing about Bitcoin.
That's true.
yeah,
And
that's true.
then you can. There's many events, like we were saying, my prima Bitcoin, mi prima,
Mi prima.
I'm
Mi-
doing it.
mi
again.
prima.
Mi
Mi prima.
prima, prima,
Primaire. Primaire.
prima,
I don't know.
prima.
But yes, you can come here not knowing anything about Bitcoin and learn as you go. It's definitely a favorable environment for that because you can really access every bit of Bitcoin technology, like the POS systems, the ATMs, the wallet apps on your phone, the hardware wallets are available here. Like everything that you need to learn Bitcoin is right at your fingertips here in El Salvador. And there's a huge community that wants to help you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not technology people, really.
No,
are we?
we're
Kind
not
of
tech.
picked it up, so
No,
it's not.
tech.
I'm curious though, what
Possible.
does it mean to you, the term Bitcoiner? Like, is that just mean like you have a wallet app, or is there a value system behind that?
Yes,
Is there?
so it just means that you have Bitcoin and you know what to do with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that qualifies.
I
Yeah.
think it also means that you have an understanding of the current financial system as well.
Yeah.
You realise
Yeah.
that, what a
Yeah.
complete, absolute
Yeah,
farce it is.
I've had the confusion of with somebody else, someone I know, that when the price goes up, they feel as though the value of your Bitcoin will go down. But it's exactly the opposite. I
Interesting,
suppose.
really? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they think that more people that put in, it drives the share price. It's like shares rather. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're thinking they're getting diluted.
Yes,
Okay.
they think it gets diluted rather than no.
Yeah,
Actually, your money goes up.
But by the same token, they don't realise when they're at the petrol station and their petrol is like £1.90 a litre, that's the value of their currency being diluted.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So like Bitcoiner is a pretty big term. It can mean, as Hannah said, somebody who has and uses Bitcoin to conduct their economic life. It can also, on the other extreme of that, it can also refer to someone who has an almost religious devotion to the cause of Bitcoin. So it's quite a range, and definitely here in El Salvador, there is every flavor of Bitcoiner. There's the high-tech, ultra big brain types who are like building the software, and there are the sages and the saints who are trying to change the soul of humanity. And that's not off base, given the properties of Bitcoin. And there are those of us in the middle as well, who just want a sovereign way to conduct their affairs, to do business without getting involved with the banks and of course, protecting ourselves from the interminable inflation that's always ongoing. So it's quite a range. And
We just want to live our lives.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, we want to be left alone. Don't tread on me.
I want to be
Yeah.
left alone.
Yeah. I wonder if I have to adjust the camera because you're starting to bleed into the light.
I'm
The
dying
sun
of
is
sweat
setting.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the sun is setting and it's coming to our stream here.
How are we looking,
Yeah.
guys? Like, comment down
Yeah.
below.
Can you still see us?
Can you
Yeah.
still see us?
Yeah.
I'm dying here.
Yeah.
In the heat, you are
Yeah.
right in the
It's
sun.
all right.
Actually.
The sun
I
should-
think it might actually be Jessica that's blocking the sun.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Okay.
Well,
Guys,
it
like, I
looks
can-
like it's going to be below the bush there in just a minute. So
Okay.
can you hold out?
Yeah.
Or do we need to switch places? Or
No.
Okay.
I'll just die for the art. I'm dying for you guys.
Somebody had asked a question. I missed it. Yes, Gottfried. Yes. What is one thing you wish you knew before moving to El Salvador? That's a good question.
Before moving to El Salvador.
Huh.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. There hasn't been any real shocks, has there?
El Salvador.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that we had to get our driving licenses
the
possible in the
driving
UK.
license.
Yeah.
Before we can get licenses here, because we've had an absolute nightmare with our licensing.
Yeah.
You had to get your licenses apostilled?
Well,
yes.
Yes. Before your 6 months is that. So, for example, if you're coming here on a tourist visa, you've got 6 months that you can stay here. You can use any license.
Yeah, you have no problem.
From any country.
Yes.
That's absolutely fine to hire a car.
If you're living here.
But when you're a resident, you can still do that up until 6 months of being in the country, and then after that, no, six. Then after that, you have to have your license apostilled from your own country in order for you to drive anything.
Yeah. Oh wow! So because we didn't do that when we switched our licenses.
We just got new licenses. We went up to the DMV in El Salvador.
Citrusend.
We called the DMV.
Yeah.
And we just got our licenses.
Yeah, we just gave them our licenses, and they just made us Salvadoran licenses.
That's what we.
Do you have the card here with you?
No, it's a long story. It's been like going backwards and forwards over the Atlantic for the past 6 months.
Okay.
We had to send it back to England for something.
So that was our fault.
Yeah, and then we had it sent over here after that. And then it got lost in the post. Then we had to apply for new ones. Now the new ones, I think, are still in England.
Yeah.
And we was going to send them over, but I sent the embassy an email, and they have to be apostilled in the UK before they come here. So
it's an easy process.
We probably made it a lot more difficult than it needed to be.
All we needed to do is get somebody from the UK, for example, my mother, and then she can send it off to an apostle company. The apostle company will then send it to an address in El Salvador, and it shouldn't take more than 5 days to do.
Okay.
Shouldn't
if you do it by DHL.
Right. So LR79 asks what our opinion is on Google's new offices in El Salvador. So for those who don't know, Google is expanding into El Salvador. The favorable environment here, the security and the economic prosperity that's happening has attracted Google, and there is a need. Bukele recently signed a deal to have Google open an office here, and they're going to be taking care of a lot of IT infrastructure that's much needed to communicate between hospitals, police stations, government offices, etc. Lots of opinions about that out there. Some people are concerned about Google being this monstrous, demonic behemoth. Others think it's a much needed technical upgrade. What do you think?
It's a difficult one because I think, yes, it's needed. For example, when Jessica had the problem with going to the hospital, your information was in a pack. Yeah. Rather than one hospital just giving the information over to another place. It can be done directly online. And that is what's needed. Yeah.
All of Jessica's medical records had to go between facilities by motorcycle courier. Slowed things down a lot.
Yes. So in that sense, yes, it's a good idea. But then I do like the kind of, it feels as though you're back. It feels like you're back in time 20 years here. Yeah. That is quite a nice feeling. Yeah. When you see people in pickup trucks and they're all hanging out the side of it and things. I like that. I like that it's kind of behind the times a little bit.
It's like going back to our childhood, isn't it?
Yes, it's like going back to the 90s. It's quite nice. 30 years even. Yeah, so.
Rick, yes, that's Jessica who's getting washed out. I'm also now getting washed out, and looks like Dave's getting washed out.
It's just me.
We might soon all be washed out.
It's
the sun is setting.
We'll get voted out one by one.
Not sure there's much we can do about it, unfortunately.
Can we move the chair back?
We could try to
I don't want to
shimmy down, and then we'll move the camera. Bear with us a moment while we try to get unwashed out.
We'll be back.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Maybe. Yeah, I think we'll all be washed out because the sun's coming this way. Please
You
bear
gotta
with
look
us.
the other way.
Yeah.
But then the light is hitting the camera.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
whatever.
I think let's just stay here. It is better. I'll just bring this camera back a little bit, and we'll be able to get going again. All right. Yeah, I'm washed out. You shouldn't be, but that's fine. Let's all gather around. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's better.
That's
It's
better.
a little better.
Yeah, it's probably going to go back the way it was in about 20 minutes. But what can you do? Yes. Teach me Bitcoin and I'll have you speaking Spanish in no time. Interesting offer. Yeah. I think you have the harder job there, unfortunately. Just 1 second.
We're a bit washed out, I think.
Yeah.
The sunshine.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up in the pool.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Could end badly.
It's okay.
All right. I think we're okay. Like,
Mhm.
it shouldn't be too much longer before that sun is down behind the trees. So, all right. So, a little bit about the new Bitcoin MasterCard. Yeah, we can touch on that briefly. By the way, if we've missed your question, if a question has been sent and we didn't answer it, we're not ignoring you. We just missed it. So please just go ahead and repeat your question and we will get to it. Promise. Okay. Try to go a little closer. Just want to make sure this is nice for everyone watching. See, I love you guys.
Thanks for being so patient.
Okay. So what was the question? Bitcoin MasterCard. Yeah, I've got it right here. The Bitcoin MasterCard is, if you watch the video today, it's a game changer, we think. The challenges for Bitcoin in El Salvador have been mainly around the population that is currently unbanked and maybe doesn't have a lot of access to the latest financial education, technological education, and they are accustomed to using cash. Cash works for them. It functions. They don't see a reason why they need to adopt all this new technology and fancy stuff to continue on with their life as is. And when invited to do so, they say one of two things. It's too difficult. It's too complicated for me. That's for the young generation. And they say there's no merchants around here that accept it. And there's truth to both of those. The merchants thing, there are merchants around that accept it. You have to look for them. We found them and we prefer them. And so it's not hard to get on a Bitcoin standard here. But if you are new to it and you have a way of life you're accustomed to, it's just there's no real incentive to do it. Right. So what's the benefit? That's the question that gets asked. This card addresses this stuff, mainly in the form of remittances. And it's a shame we didn't mention this in the video, but with this card, someone can remit from the United States to a local Salvadoran their remittance, which would otherwise go through Western Union and have fees chomped out of it. They lose a bunch of the money. They can instead put that money into Bitcoin and send it to the Ditto Bank's wallet and then put it right on this card, which then can be used anywhere in the country. So the app is extremely simple to use. It's extremely simple to load the card. You can cut out Western Union. You can cut out bank transfers, et cetera, and you can get money directly to your family member right here in El Salvador, and they can use it anywhere they want. So that's a big deal. Prior to that, if they were receiving Bitcoin, they would have had to go to an ATM, drive maybe 45 minutes to find an ATM that can exchange the Bitcoin. They'd have to wait for a network confirmation if they weren't using Chivo. It was a bit inconvenient, as you'd expect for a country that just adopted a new technology. This is what fixes all of that. So this is fantastic. We love it. You guys have one yet?
Amazing. No, definitely
really
getting
need
one
one,
though.
Yeah.
And just things like paying your rent.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
the answer
Yeah.
because we've been waiting in banks to pay our rent
Mhm.
here for
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah.
hours sometimes, where it's so busy at the end of the month.
Mhm.
But if we just had one of those,
Yeah.
you could just transfer it straight on there.
Yeah, you could.
We did have a comment on the Ditto Bank's card video.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the most recent one. He was essentially asking like, if we were to put like a certain amount in the Ditto, would its value remain on the card?
Oh, is it volatile?
Is it volatile?
Oh,
And I
okay.
think that's a really good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
And if you're watching, here's your answer.
Oh, I'm answering. Okay. Yeah. So before
You're the tech guy.
before loading the Bitcoin onto the card, inside the Ditto Bank's wallet app, you first convert it to a stablecoin. So right now they have USDC enabled. We don't like that. USDC is on the Ethereum network, and Ethereum is
Bad word.
It's a child that was born out of the steaming, smoking pits of hell. So we don't like Ethereum. However, they have already built the USDT functionality. We're not a big fan of Tether either, but it's better than USDC, that's for sure. And they're going to be enabling that in the app very soon. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you do is you convert it to a stable coin that pegs it to the US dollar, and then you load the MasterCard with that going forward. Yes, and it's also reversible. So if you have your USDT on your MasterCard, you can send it back into USDT and then back into Bitcoin and bring it into cold storage if you want. So that's a two-way street.
That's really good. Really, really convenient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I hope that answered your question. James S. asks, how do you get residency? Where are you guys at with your residency process?
Yeah,
we've got a 1 year.
got it?
Yeah, we've got a 1 year residency.
Okay.
So we went for Escape to get ours.
Yeah, Escape to El Salvador.
Uh-huh.
Very simple, easy process.
Yeah, it couldn't have been any
smoother.
easier, to be honest.
Honestly, amazing.
Yeah.
How simple that was.
Yeah. I mean, what they say is before you arrive, you should try and get a police check done. And there's an online form that you fill in. Escape to El Salvador will give you the link to fill it all in. You then send that off. I think there's a slight little fee for that to get that done. And then you have to get it apostilled from the UK Apostle Company. And again, there's a form to fill in online.
Yeah.
Then once your police check is apostilled, you then bring it with you if you're coming from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously from wherever you are in the world. But we were actually already here before we got our police check done. But we had a friend back home in the UK that did it all for us. So we sent the police check to her. She then sent it on just at the post office, sent it on to be apostilled, and then the apostle companies then sent it on to us in El Salvador.
Yeah, the UK government would apostle it,
Yeah.
and they would send it out by courier. It's very expensive. I think it cost us. I think the UK government's charged us about £150 for the whole process.
Yeah.
That's including the
So it is a bit pricey to do it that way. It's cheaper.
That's the UK government.
It's cheaper to do it before you come, and then it won't obviously cost you £150. And then they take care of everything else. Escape to El Salvador will interview you, find out what way you want to get your temporary residency. We went for the entrepreneur one, which allows us to set up our own businesses.
Yeah, there's 14 different residency types, so there's one for everybody.
Yeah, you can be a working online digital nomad.
That's
visa.
us.
Yeah. There's so many different ways. You know, if you're retired, you can do that one. You know, so they take it all, take care of it. They'll pick you up from wherever you're staying as well. They'll pick you up. They'll take you to immigration. They'll do all your paperwork. They'll go with you, do the translation for you. You just sign, and that's it. And then about 3 weeks later, your cards arrive.
Yeah. It's actually a great process.
It couldn't be easier.
Very simple.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend using a service like that, using Escape to El Salvador. The code's on the screen there. It's because it's easy to make a mistake if you're doing it solo. And if you make a mistake, now you're looked at differently, right? We have some friends that they hired a very inexpensive lawyer to help them, and there was a mistake. Actually, they ended up applying for the wrong visa, and this made their process very difficult. They ended up having to buy a plane ticket, leave the country, come back, and start over from scratch. So don't mess around with that. Get it done right. It's worth spending a little bit of extra money to make sure you get it done right.
Peace of mind alone.
Yeah, because if you make a mistake, you end up, the expenses multiply. So
Sorry, I just saw that message there. I feel like I'm watching Ron and Hermione speak from Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
I got the sun in my
Harry
eyes. I must
Potter.
have missed that one.
Yeah.
You're a wizard.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching
Cute.
Ron and
Cute.
Hermione.
Yeah.
Which one's Ron? Which one's Hermione?
Ron is the ginger one.
No, I mean, which
No,
one's
it's
Ron, which one's-
between you
Oh.
two.
Well, I'm guessing you're Ron.
Right, I hope so, yeah.
Oh wow, Brandon, welcome. Hello to Honduras, Brandon. I think you might be the first time we've seen someone from Honduras in the chat. Hope you're doing well over there. Short drive for you if you want to come visit. It would be great. Yeah, thank you for saying hello. Karen is coming out in November. Hopefully we can talk more about
Amazing.
Bitcoin. Awesome. Are you
Oh.
going to the Adopting Bitcoin conference, Karen? That's if you want to learn about Bitcoin, that's definitely a place to be. Check that out. AZAP asks, yeah, sorry if we've missed some questions, guys. Please just go ahead and repeat them. We will see them eventually. Question is, do I have to be in El Salvador to get the Bitcoin MasterCard? Yes, you do. Currently, right now, that card is only available to Salvadoran citizens and residents of El Salvador. So you need that temporary residence card or permanent, or to be a citizen to get the card. Ditto Banks is working very hard to expand the Ditto Banks MasterCard into the CA4, the other countries that neighbor El Salvador. And they're also wanting to get into South America as well. So they're working hard to expand, but for right now, only in El Salvador. Yeah. Right. Looks like you guys have a pretty nice place. Is the rent comparable to what you would pay for the same type of home in Britain?
Oh my
wow.
goodness. No way.
Right, okay, so bearing in mind it looks bigger than what we're actually paying for. So we've got a 2-bedroom apartment on top of a house, if you know what I mean. It's like a second floor apartment.
Yeah.
The pool is for a private pool. All bills included. Now this is $850, which is about 600. No, what was it?
It's really good.
That's like
£680 a month.
Yeah, so
For
the,
£680 a
rent-
month, you'll probably just about get a 1-bedroom flat. Or
the rent on our little poking flat in England
Yeah.
covers the rent on this place here.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
there you go.
So for a 2-bedroom apartment in just a normal residential area in Dorset is this practically the same as
Yeah,
what
so,
this
yeah,
is.
we're not even talking about London, are we?
No,
Like,
this is
kind of-
Dorset, where it's
Dorset,
a lot
yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
London prices.
Oh,
this would
just
be over
insane.
$1,000. Well, £1,000
More
a month.
past that, £2,000.
£2,000 a month, maybe.
And you wouldn't be able to use the pool because it's
No.
freezing cold.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same in Canada. We pay $1,000 for our place, 2-bedroom. It's a standalone bungalow, 2-bedroom. We pay $1,000 for it. It has a pool. Not as nice as this pool, but it's,
Yeah,
it's a
this
nice
pool's
pool.
really
We like
nice.
it. We pay $1,000 USD, which is about 1,300 Canadian. In Canada for 1,300, you'd
can
probably
get,
have like 5 roommates.
Yeah,
I'm exaggerating,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't get much.
No.
Not anymore, which is crazy because 5 years before we came here, we had a $900 apartment and it was fine. That same apartment is now $2,000 in Canada. I mean, there's just no way we'd be able to survive up there. So yeah, you get more for your money here for the
Yeah.
time being.
And this is actually one of the expensive
Yeah,
areas.
this is the,
So if you were to live in the city, it would be, much cheaper. Hi, Kirsty.
And these are the neighbors.
the neighbours.
I don't know if you,
Children.
if you can see them.
You're on YouTube.
Come on up.
On YouTube.
Come on up if you want.
We are a
That's our friend's daughter.
people
That's,
from all
Kevin
over the
and Marie?
world
Fran,
are here.
and Fran's daughter.
They're
Fran's
trying to
daughter.
get through they're trying to break in.
There is a driveway.
There is a driveway.
You can go up the steps,
Yeah.
you don't have to go through.
Yeah. Bear with us. We have some neighbors who are dropping in.
Literally,
Or the
literally
children of
dropping
neighbors. Yeah.
And the girls.
Hello.
in.
Girls.
No,
Video.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're live on YouTube right now. Say hello.
We love Bitcoin. Yeah,
Don't fall
exactly.
in the pool.
Keep holding, guys. Keep holding. It's gonna shoot up to the moon.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, buy now and you'll be a millionaire by 10 years.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Trust me.
Goodbye.
Where are you,
everybody.
where are you guys from
Oh.
anyway? We've got
I'm from
Holland.
Australia.
I'm from Holland. I'm from Florida.
Welcome.
Wow.
What are your first names? Just first.
I'm Isabella.
Isabella.
I'm Lila. I'm Anouk.
I'm Bella.
Hello, nice to
Hello.
meet you all.
Hello.
Yeah, the comments are laughing and loving.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy
Right
Bitcoin.
now, buy
Yeah, yeah.
Bitcoin.
Do it.
Do
Do it.
This is the financial advice that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're the
Of all
Bitcoin
14-year-olds.
cheerleaders.
Right. Yeah, we were like peeking down.
How do you feel about El Salvador as a country?
Really
Really
good.
good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. The surf's
tropical
nice.
and just absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Totally
The tropical, the trees,
A
everything.
lots
is
of really
beautiful.
cool kids, you guys.
And food. Papooses, guys.
The people
No,
are
no,
super
Papooses.
nice.
No,
Oh, these guys.
But the seafood is really good.
The people are nice too.
The
Yeah,
people like
yeah.
welcome you like family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
They're
really feel
really nice.
welcome.
Yeah.
So was it a difficult transition from Holland, Australia,
Yeah.
Florida?
It's like the total opposite.
It's
of
the
it.
total
Yeah.
opposite.
I
But
think
it's
it's a
definitely
while
worth
to
it.
find your people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you like settle in, it's really fun because it's like
It's
Yeah,
different, but it's a good different.
Yeah.
right.
How do you feel about your futures long term
Oh,
in El
yeah,
Salvador?
fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
Because it gets
absolutely.
richer than
I
Bitcoin.
love
Yeah.
her so much.
Right, I
Awesome.
invested in Bitcoin. I invested
Yeah,
in
I
Blink
bought-
or whatever. I invested $100 in Bitcoin. You ready? Right?
I will-
$30. I invested
Amazing.
$260.
I already invested.
I mean, yeah,
already
like
doubled.
$100. I'm a millionaire by 5
And
years.
she's my helper for my arts and crafts club. She helps the little ones with me, and I pay her in
Yes.
Bitcoin as well. So she's
Yeah,
very
so
happy with
we're
that.
earning money with Sats
Yeah.
and Satoshi wallet of
Earning
Satoshi.
money in Bitcoin at your what's your age?
I'm 12.
At you're 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earning
you're
money
12.
at 12 years old in Bitcoin. That is incredible,
Yeah.
folks. Like if we were earning Bitcoin, we were 12.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
we would own this whole neighborhood.
Oh
I'd
my
say.
God.
We will never have to
Yeah.
work again.
No
Yeah.
need to age us here.
Awesome. Awesome.
right.
Well, you're welcome to hang out or
right.
do whichever you will. If you want to
Or
go
you
and
can
come back.
entertain my son up there. He's just
Yeah.
out on the
Say
balcony,
hi to Rio.
wondering what we're up to.
Yeah.
Great.
We need to eat pasta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta
We
go.
are.
We're
All
gonna
right.
eat
All right.
Well, thank you for
But we love
having us
Bitcoin.
on.
Yeah.
Follow these guys.
Yeah,
Follow
them. And buy Bitcoin.
And hit the like button. Hit it.
Click hit the button where you can like
Yeah.
Notifications.
Yeah, notification
And the heart
bell.
button.
You got it all down there, folks. It
And
doesn't
move to
cost
El
a lot.
Salvador.
You can do it.
Yes, right. Move here. Move here. And buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, moving out. See you later.
Bye, girls.
I think they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess
So,
that answers your
so-
question. If you
so-
have any
Yeah.
concerns about teenagers
Yeah.
moving with your family or any small children, whatnot,
Yeah.
there's your proof
Yeah.
right there, folks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be the experience.
Yeah.
Because actually, you know what? We hear that a lot when people reach out to us with questions about moving here. We hear the comment a lot, like, I have kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to uproot them. I don't want to throw a wrench in their lives. But that's what
Yeah,
happens.
that's
Yeah.
the effects
I mean,
of
they're
El
having-
Salvador.
They're having a
Crazy.
blast and they're investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 12
So-
years old.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
That's
no,
remarkable.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
That was
funny.
really, really cool.
And they were here before. The Dutch girls were here
Mhm.
before, and they
Mhm.
went back to the States
Mhm.
just to sort out some things, and then they'd come back.
yeah.
okay.
So they were always going to come back here.
Yeah, I did see Isabel like pop her head a couple times during this live stream. I was like, oh,
Yeah, someone had said there's someone behind you.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you?
Yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
There you
typical,
go.
a typical weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is standard here. Yeah. We were worried about our 26-year-old son coming, if he would be able to find work. He doesn't speak Spanish at this time. Yeah. So the thing to do there, because so standard wages here are pretty low. The thing to do for work is to find something online to start.
Mhm.
That's the way to go. You can find work here locally that pays well, but that really should go to Salvadorans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're bringing a skill that is just not available here.
Mm.
That's something that Salvadorans should have that opportunity. So yeah, find something online, or if your 26-year-old son is entrepreneurial, it is very easy to start a business here.
Yeah.
And there is so many niches that are unfilled right now that need entrepreneurs to fill them. So there's opportunity here. So I'd say find some online work just to tide you over while you're here when you get started out, and then start a business, or pick a specialty that the country needs and can't source locally, and then find your place there. So that would be the recommendation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they do look so happy, don't they, Estrella? Like I was like blown away at the enthusiasm.
Yeah, they're
I
super
know.
stoked to
So
be
funny.
here.
I think they're just excited to be on YouTube, to be honest.
They were Bukele cheerleaders.
They are great though.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and another thing as well, we've got a lady that's come from the States, and she's just starting next month. She's starting up a homeschooling school, just 2 days a week, and she's got classes up to 16. So these girls are going to be there with more as well. So we're going to have different classes, and she's a classical educator, so it's a completely different way of learning.
If you've got a skill you can teach out here,
that's another great idea. To teach. Like if you even something simple like yoga. You could come out here and start teaching yoga, and you would get by just fine.
It's very popular, very popular.
Yeah. Okay, so James says, and again, if we miss a question, please just repost the question in the chat. We will find it. James asked, I am looking into El Salvador. If I take my family to check it out, where should I visit?
Here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it depends what you're into, but the beach is beautiful. And hot and beautiful. Anywhere between El Sonte to La Libertad, there's all kinds of restaurants, Airbnbs, hotels. If you want to go a bit further east past La Libertad, out in San Diego, Playa Cangrejera, you can find some wonderful gems out there as well. If you're adventurous, you can go way out to La Union, Playa Las Flores, Hotel Martinez is out there. Check the video in the back catalog. Wonderful place to visit, awesome town. Going up north, if you're into nightlife and traffic, there's San Salvador. There's lots to do in San Salvador, restaurants and nightclubs and whatnot. And also in sort of the middle part of the country, there's national parks and
so
volcanoes.
If you like camping and all that stuff.
There's a place for everyone.
Yes,
I think.
100%. Yeah. There is someone we know, her name is Sandy Waves. If you head over to sandy.sv, you will find a tour guide who can recommend more places and even structure a trip for you and take you around, show you the country. So check that out. Also, R. Avenado on Twitter, that's Ronnie. Or you can just search Ronnie Avenado on Twitter, and he's another tour guide we know. He can help you out as well. So check it out. All right. I'm going to bring my 2 American neighbors in February to El Salvador. They're not fully aware of the situation in El Salvador. What can you say to them so they feel safe? If they're watching right now, that would be really cool. What do you say to if they're not sure about the safety?
It goes back to this question, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what I say until you come here and you see it.
The thing is, I've had someone come up to me and say, I've looked on Google. It's saying that it's really dangerous and I can't, and you shouldn't come here. Well, actually, no. That they're really behind in the times with that kind of thing.
We would not be here if safety was an issue.
No,
we absolutely
no. I mean, the best thing I would say to do is look on YouTube. Look for these guys, 2 People in Paradise. Look at their videos. They were the ones that helped us make our decision to come here.
And now you're on our channel.
And now we're on your channel, which is crazy. I was a bit like starstruck when I first met you. I thought, oh my gosh, it's Ryan and Jessica. It was a bit like that. But honestly, no, it's a really safe country. I've spoken to a lot of locals, and they said the changes that have happened in the last couple of years is absolutely incredible. You really don't don't to worry at all. We wouldn't be here without.
And we've lived in the city as well.
It's probably safer here than it is in the whole of the Americas and Canada right now, I think.
It's safer here than Canada. That's 100%. So if your friends were thinking about taking a trip to Canada, we would have advisories and say be safe. Don't go to certain places after dark and whatnot. There's danger up there, especially in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, places like that. I'm sure there are still dangerous places here in El Salvador, but I don't know what they are anymore. When we first got here, there were some areas that we were told to avoid, particularly out by San Diego, a bit east of here. People told us to avoid Soyapango, Suchitoto. They told us to avoid that. We have since done videos out in all those areas, except we've never been to Soyapango. But we've done videos in Suchitoto and San Diego. Other channels, Money Delics, they're doing videos in these places that used to be very dangerous even just a year and a half ago. But now you can go there with thousands of dollars of expensive camera equipment and talk to the locals and just be there and spend your money at the shops. It's night and day here. And the news, the media, and the immigration advisories, the governments have not caught up to that reality yet at all. I don't think they want to, tell you the truth.
They don't want people to know that this place is safe.
That they can take all of their wealth and tax dollars out of their countries and come here. So yes, it's a safe place. We all agree. Yeah. LM had asked a question. Yes, Dave and Hannah, do you find it hard to adjust to the heat?
Honestly?
It is.
Here, particularly here by the beach, because it is. What was it? It's like
between the hours of say 11 o'clock and 3.
It's extremely hot.
It is pretty hot, but we've got pools. You know, in this with this gated community, we've got pools as well.
And the city's only 20 minutes away, and that's elevated, and it's so much cooler.
That's the difference.
Especially in the evenings. The evenings are very cool, and that's when you need it. That's when you're trying to sleep.
Like right now, I mean, it's beautiful. It's warm, but it's not boiling hot.
It's just a breeze.
That beautiful breeze from the sea as well. We've got the sea literally 5 minutes.
But yes, it can get very humid.
It's a shame you can't hear it. We can hear the ocean right now, but the microphone probably can't pick that up. But
it's incredible. And that's the thing. There's there's pools, there's communal pools that you can go to if you feel the heat or the sea. The sea's like a bath, but it's still fresh enough to cool down.
But it's not. I mean, we cope. It's not that bad that you can't. Manage.
That's it.
Okay. Yes. Ed mentions the Walter Theo Denninger. I can't pronounce it. Park. It's an adventure park. This might be great for Leo. Actually,
this is down the coast.
It's 10 minutes away. We've never been. We should go.
We really want to go there.
Sounds really interesting, actually.
It's like one of those outdoor adventure park type deals. I drove by it today actually, but we've never been.
You really should go.
we should make it a group outing and film a video and bring it to you. How about that? All right. Show us the north of La Libertad, the best lands near Lempa River. Okay, thanks for the tip. Maybe we can take a trip out there. We haven't really been that far north in Libertad. Is that on top of the hill? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Lempa River?
Something to check out.
Oh, maybe they mean the department. La Libertad department, not the town. Have you found a Bitcoin dealer to cash out?
What does that mean?
Bitcoin dealer.
It's not.
We are Bitcoin dealers.
So I think John Snow there is asking about P2P, peer-to-peer Bitcoin.
I've never really felt the need, to be honest.
You
can buy everything with Bitcoin.
There's absolutely no need. I mean, you've got the machine, the Chivo machines as well. If you wanted to exchange your Bitcoin into cash, that you can use it in other places that are not accepting it yet. So there's not really any.
And I mean, like there are people who do have like cash on them, and like say sometimes like when the power goes out down at the beach, like for some strange reason, maybe you need cash for water or some water delivery. You can just text your friends and be like, hey, do you have any cash? I'll trade it for Bitcoin. That's one way we do it.
Even some of the taxi drivers now, we've had to take Bitcoin.
That's it.
There are vendors. There are vendors who will do it for you. Over in Playa Conchalillo, La Casona shop will do a cash to Bitcoin exchange for you. They charge a fee though, so it's a convenience fee. But it's not a problem here. You can do it through the ATMs. There tends to be a bit of KYC there, know your customer stuff. You have to put in your phone number and whatnot. But if you are looking for a truly peer-to-peer way, you'll find it in El Salvador. Great. Okay, I hope your finger is fully recovered, Jessica. Yeah.
Not quite.
You want to give an update on that?
It's kind of crooked. It's kind of wonking, but it's healing up in the inside now. It's doing a lot of work on the inside. I'm doing some physio, some bending. I'm getting more mobility back, which I'm very excited about. Dave has actually been quite the inspiration for me to get back because he did the trial. He had a similar experience with slicing his finger years ago.
I crushed it. I was unloading a lorry and there was a big roll of vinyl, which is like carpet but different. And the guy threw it off the top of the lorry. I tried to catch it, and as I've tried to catch it, the whole thing's gone on one end and come down on the end of my finger. And the only way I can describe it is if you get a Frankfurt sausage, put it on the table, and hit it with a hammer. That's kind of what it looked like. So,
oh man,
a bit of a mess.
I've
been,
For those who don't know, Jessica was attacked by a dog about 2 months ago now. It was not a local dog. The dog was from Spain. The owner was from Spain. They were renting a place in our neighborhood, and this dog burst out of the house, attacked Jessica, and her finger got involved in that, and there was an artery that was cut. There was some concern about the tendons for a while, and it's been a long road for healing. And that actually reminds me, someone did ask about healthcare. And I forgot all about it. So, do you guys want to talk about healthcare? Have you had to use the system yet?
I haven't, thankfully. English superstition. No, we haven't, have we?
No. We've had a friend. Their little boy was playing. He had his hands tied behind his back. I think he was a prisoner in the game. And he went splat down on the floor and cut his head. His eyebrow there. Had to have stitches, but they were so thorough with it. And it's all the stitches are out now.
Yeah, he's all better now. He's all regular now.
So not a problem at all.
What did they charge? What did he pay to have that? It was a massive amount.
Something like 200.
Was it 200? It's 150. 200?
Oh, I can't remember. It wasn't a lot. You would expect it to be a lot more, but it wasn't.
For a hospital visit, I've spent a lot more in Australia.
Because plus he had like antibiotics and other things.
That's right. They went to Hospital Merliot, same hospital that Jessica went to. It was a recommendation. Jessica was there, and they didn't do the stitches. That's probably why it's a bit more, but they did some other stuff for Jessica, and ours was, for one visit, it was $135. Follow-up appointments were just checkups. Those were $10 each. It's accessible here, maybe not to everyone, but compared to in Canada, compared to the NHS, I don't know, what are wait times like at the NHS?
Let's not talk about that. Oh my goodness, you'd be in there for a good couple, at least 3 hours to be seen. It depends what it is.
Well, actually, going back to the story of my finger, part of the reason I lost my finger is because I had to wait 24 hours to see a surgeon when I went into the NHS the first time. And by the time I'd got to the operating table, all the skin had died, so they had to remove like a lot of skin that they may not have had to remove. Had we got to been seen straight away. So, not great. Not great. We waited at the public system here for
hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 43 minutes.
Whoa!
He likes to be exact.
I had a timer. In Canada, it would be easily 8 to 12 hours. Anywhere in there would be a standard wait time. I remember I waited easily 12 hours to get some antibiotics for an infection one time. Crazy stuff. And you have options here. It's mixed public-private. So you can go public if you want, or you can go private if you want. Obviously, being private, will have a lot more modern techniques and a lot more accessible in terms of speed. But the public system here is, from our point of view as Canadians, and from your perspective as UK, a good system. It works.
I like private. And people think like, oh, I don't want to pay. It's like, you get what you pay for, essentially. And if you pay nothing, you get shit.
YouTube. We're not on Rumble.
Oh, sorry.
Where were we here? Healthcare costs. We covered that a little bit. Do you have health insurance there? Do you guys have insurance?
No.
No.
No,
We don't.
we don't.
No, we don't. We
Well,
did
you
when we
do.
first came out. We did when we went to Mexico, didn't we? And it was so expensive,
did.
and we worked out that we're probably better off if. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. We'd be better off just paying for it as and when we need it, won't we?
And I guess if there was a real big problem, that we could always maybe go back to the UK.
No.
Wait another 8 months.
No, that's true. We'd be dead by then.
No.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't have insurance. We bought
do.
some travel insurance when we came here. I'll get to that.
Oh, sorry.
We bought some travel insurance when we came. It was just cover us for 3 months. We let that expire, and then through my Banco Agricola bank account, I have $40,000 of emergency medical. They debit from the account $4 every month automatically to pay for that. I have no idea how to access it or use it. It's just part of the bank account. We should get you that too.
Yeah, because you can't have, if you're like spouse or whatever, they each get separate. Like I can't,
separate.
can't cover.
Yeah.
Can't get covered from you. So
Yeah.
let's hope.
Well, we're at 1 hour and 15. This
Yeah.
is usually the length of the stream that we normally do. So, do you want to continue?
I
or-
was just going to say, I'm back on the health insurance. I have a friend, a British friend, who she is married to a Salvadorian guy, but they've got insurance that's something like $12 a month. It's really, really good value, and it does cover quite a bit. So, that is an option. That if you wanted to have health insurance, that I don't know the details though. It's still something that we're looking into. But
It's like a cell phone bill here.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
It's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just takes the edge off if
Yeah.
you needed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Estrella Paz says, Hannah and David, welcome to El Salvador, and thanks for being with us.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you.
That is one thing we've seen, is that the population largely is very welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a few who have a different opinion, but it's they're excited to see you.
Yeah.
And they feel proud that you chose El Salvador.
Yeah. That's the impression that we get from everyone.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's been amazing.
wow, thank you for coming here. And
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember.
Also wants to be by a pool. Well, you know what? If we can do
Come
it,
here.
Yeah,
So can you.
plenty of
Yeah.
pools here.
Jess and I,
Come
we
and join
came
us.
here with a single income of $15 per hour. We had less than $10,000 in emergency money. We had nothing in terms of material possessions, just our laptops for work, and we made it work. So if we can do it, you can do it. We didn't even have to touch that emergency money. We just made it work.
Yeah.
You can make it work. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you want to be here and be by a pool, be here and be by a pool.
Yeah.
It's within your power.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I say to people,
Yeah.
sorry.
So I was just say, even if you can just come out for 6 months,
Yeah.
you can save up just to try it and see the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a couple of months
And you
even.
never know. You start
But you
meeting
won't.
people, things start happening, and
Yeah, you won't want to go home though. That's the only warning I will give you. If you come here,
you won't want to leave.
you won't want to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. So Vladimir Putin says you guys rock. El Salvador is paradise.
Thanks, Vlad.
Thank you. Thank you, Vlad. Spasibo.
Putin.
Spasibo, Vladimir. Yes, Clemenson, you missed it, bud. We are wrapping up now, unfortunately, but you can watch the replay and join us next
sorry,
time.
can I just address this guy?
Yeah.
I know this guy,
Yeah.
Jim Lessig. Yeah, hi,
You know
Jim.
what?
How you doing?
Oh, you know Jim?
Yeah, he's in one of my Facebook groups. Hello.
Okay.
Good to
Cool.
see you.
There's Jim. I can't even see his name. Which
Right
one?
here. Right here.
Yeah.
Ah.
Is this
Aw.
the guy you referred me to? You're-
I did, yeah. He's
Oh, okay.
Yeah, am I allowed
Okay.
to? I don't know.
Yeah. So, Jim, I haven't reached out yet, but hello. Nice to meet you. We'll be in touch soon. Yeah. Excellent.
Oh.
Okay.
Hello from Brazil.
Brazil. Oh,
That's
my.
right.
Yeah, Brazil. How are things in Brazil? I've heard some, we've heard some things from Brazilians. Let's put it that way. And we won't repeat them. So, yeah. Okay. We are good here. Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, Jim. Excellent. So last words, making me reach a decision. I'm in great shape to go back. Also, you're more than welcome to come back.
Mhm.
And if you do, please look us up. We'll be happy to go to Papusaria and have some. Maybe you can abduct David and have a few beers.
Just for a few hours, that'd be lovely if you can. You know.
Great.
I'm joking.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Yes.
If you enjoyed the stream, please head on down below, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. After the stream finishes, you can leave a comment as well. If you know someone who you think would benefit from the information that we have on the channel or our live streams, let them know, share that over with them.
Mhm.
And also, if you want to reach out to us, please, our DMs are open on X or Twitter. Our email address is in the About section of the channel as well. You can always reach out. We're happy to hear from you. I'll just say, if we are late getting back to you, it's just there's so many. Just keep reminding us. We will eventually get back to you. We promise. So,
all right.
Well,
thank you so much
again, everybody.
For having...
Yeah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
pleasure.
hosting us.
Here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, yeah.
See you guys.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye.
It stays live for a bit after I hit end.
Hold on.
Yeah. So just hold on.